So, Noelle, we all know she's crazy. I'm going to explain to you how to build her and just give you an overall review of why she's crazy in depth. If you want to listen to me for like 15, 20 minutes, maybe 25, go ahead. But if not, there's timestamps on the video so you guys don't have to watch the whole thing because I think that's really cringe of me if I did that. So let's just head right into it. As for a general overview of Noelle, I think that she's an amazing DPS unit who is disguised as a DPS, but is basically a DPS and a tank in the same character. So she is like Red Yami and Rades combined. She has a shield and she has two AoEs, so she's going to be an amazing unit in pretty much every single mode unless it's for single target damage. And I think that everyone needs to pull her. In my opinion, everyone does need to pull her. I would say that. Now, let's go on to her skills. Then we're going to talk about her talents, not talents, her passives and all that. So basically, her main thing, I'm going to talk about skill 2 first. It's going to be giving a barrier to the whole team, and then one person gets a special type of barrier called a Blessing of Water that basically is going to let you counterattack whoever you choose. You could choose whoever gets this, and this counterattack is basically going to be until you are attacked. So you could do like 3 times counter in a row, and you're still going to have the barrier up. And also, you have to realize that the person who gets the Blessing of Water gets 2 barriers. So it's going to be the Blessing of Water percentage and the actual barrier. Now, this means that you want to build it with magic attack because the barrier does scale off of magic attack. And since she is a DPS, she has insane attack stats, especially magic attack. She has the 3rd highest magic attack in the game. And then alongside, of course, because why not just add more, it's going to also give all allies 10% increased favor damage, which means when you are type advantage, you're going to do 10% more damage while being type advantage. Now, her skill 1 is an AoE. Has the highest AoE multiplier in the game, but what it also has is weapon enhancement depending on barrier or if it's a Blessing of Water, and it's going to give either 30% or 40% blessing, giving 40, barrier giving 30. So this is just going to be doing just really insane damage even for a skill 1, and it has, of course, it's going to be doing the most AoE damage for a skill 1 because of the multiplier alongside the weapon enhancement. And then the ultimate also has the highest scalings in the game for an AoE ult, which is insane to think about. I think it's like 12% more than all the others as an ult. And then it also gives magic attack while you're doing the attack and 2 turns after, which means it's better, honestly, to use this and then use your skill 2 because you're going to get the magic attack for 2 turns, which is going to scale better on the skill 2. But this is really good when you're trying to apply multiplicative buffs with like Ghost and also people like Falto. So it's going to be very good just doing stuff like that. Now then, as for the Dupe passive, it seems like it was translated a bit wrong, honestly, because it says equal to 10% of the damage taken, but it's just 10%, I think, of your attack from what it seems, or your HP, and not actually the damage taken. I think that was the point that is wrong. But basically, when it's duped out twice, it's just a normal barrier of 10%, but then when you actually get it to dupe 5, it's going to be the blessing barrier, which means you're going to get a free or multiple free counterattacks possibly, and it's going to be 15%, which is going to increase it even more. And because the blessing barrier at max level or low level increases or has like a higher percentage, it's going to be an even stronger shield alongside it being at 15%. Now, alongside just that, her normal stats go up more than other DPSs. As we see here, the Dupe 4 is going up by 1340. And if we go to, like, let's say, Yami, I'm pretty sure most DPSs does not increase that much. So here it's 484. It's because of the stat that they chose. And if we go to, like, this one, how much would this one be? That's 480. So it goes up a lot more for the CC, which means your CC like cap could be a lot higher because of the dupe or the stat it's giving. So crit resistance is what it's giving, which means she's going to be able to resist a lot more hits, which is going to be good because once you're alive for 1 turn, you're going to basically be able to stay alive, and this crit resistance is going to let her stay alive for a lot longer. And even this is like about maybe like 1000 CC more than usual too. So I'd say duping her out, getting her to max dupe for free would be great. If you could pull multiple dupes of her, that would be nice, but of course you could choose her for free. So overall, this is like a pretty free-to-play unit at just 0 dupes, but if you could max her out, it would be the best case scenario because she truly does profit a lot off of it in terms of just CC getting the crit resistance by 24% at dupe 5, and also getting the Blessing of Water when it's the second upgraded version of the dupe, but this one is just a normal barrier. I would say it is very good and worth it to dupe her. Now then, as for skill pages you should run, obviously her unique one is going to be good for her. But if you don't have the unique one, we're going to be talking about a couple other ones that I'm just going to say which ones, then we're going to go to the translated versions. So I'd say that this one, what is called Breath of Darkness, the Purple Destruction one, or Fauna's, both work as the best secondary options. They give the same passive, exactly the same numbers. But then if you don't have that one, let's start scrolling. So first off, this one is really good. And if not, I would say that Mimosas or Gorks, this one is working too. And then I do not believe, yeah, so Gorks is also gonna work, I'd say. So all those are really good options, I would say. Now, as for what they all do, let's talk about that now. So this one is going to give you a barrier when you're attacked equal to 5 to 10% of your damage taken, 10% when it's maxed out. I'd say that's pretty good. It's going to give you at least a bit back. It's going to give it that extra bit of tankiness, and this is really good. It's basically when an ally gets a barrier, grants them the HP recovery equal to 50% of your magic attack. So you're going to see, I'm going to do a couple showcases later. I'm just going to get like a 10-20k heal when I just apply the barrier on Noelle. And it's really good. Now, this is on one person from what it seems. It's going to be on the person you choose for the Blessing of Water. But it's going to be a really good skill page, I'd say. If you don't have it, though, these two work perfectly fine. You're going to end up even doing more damage because it gives you an all-attack increase by 10% at dupe, or 0 dupes, and then 20% at max dupes for both Faunas and the Breath of Darkness. Basically, why this is good is that you're going to be getting at least a bit of physical increase, but then like 10% magic attack increase is huge for both of these. Now, Gorks is kind of, it's good, but not as good as this because this is 10% outright, but this is 5% for both, and then 10% if it's maxed. Now, if you get this maxed, which is pretty easy, this one works just as well. I would say 100%, especially because you can max it out easily. But of course, for this one, it is a free-to-play one that you could get in Hall of Memories. Memory Hall. So you're able to dupe this one out to 20%, which will have a much higher cap, I would say. Now, this one is just increasing damage done, so this one too could be good. Now, there are a couple other good ones, like you could say all like good DPS ones like Liched, Yami, or Fuegoleons you could use, or Astas. But I would say these are the main ones that you'd probably want to use. But I'd say like if there's another one you might want to use, I would say either Astas because you get crit damage if you build her with crit, or you could use Lichts because you just get increased damage. I would say definitely if you could run Lichts too. Lichts is just a better version of, where is it? Let me put this back on. So Lichts is just a better version of this one because this is 7 to 12% and then this goes increased damage plus also crit rate. So definitely this is just a better version, but this one's free to play, so you can run whichever, right? Those are the skill pages I would recommend. But if you have Noelle's, I think you will do a bit less damage, but it will help you in the long run, especially for this recovery. It's very good. Very, very good. As for the talents, these are the ones that I have chosen. I think that out of all of them, this one's the most important as it gives you 7% magic attack. Now, except for that, it's either this one or this one, but this one is again more damage against bosses. So I would say this one is just immediately better as it's going to be giving you critical crit rate 2.5%, up to 5 stacks each turn. So honestly, yes, this one is probably worse than, or this one's like bad, but this one's much worse. I'd say that just getting the magic attack is useful for the barrier. Now you will probably do less damage than if you choose these over here because some of them give crit damage and also just damage increase. But I would say that getting the magic attack could be very handy, especially if you use other buffers for magic attack. So those two for attack are the best. Now I would say also these two just generally are the best for DPSs because it's going to give you the defense increase, and then this one's going to give you the defense increase 4% every wave and then 2% critical resistance. So this one for PvE especially is good, but then getting the crit resistance is also going to be extremely nice, at least a little bit for because when you have dupes, because of course Noelle increases your crit resistance already, so this is just going to be very nice by increasing your crit resistance even further. Now these two are generally also the ones that you put on DPSs too. This one's going to increase blocking, which is going to make her take less damage by up to 30%, and then this one's going to be giving her an extra special point when she has less than 2 special points. So this is the one I've run. Of course you could run a bit other like variations, but I'd say this is like probably the best one. I think it depends on your builds sometimes, but I think for me this is going to be definitely the best. Now as for gear, this is my gear. I do not think it is the best gear, but it is the gear that's giving me the most stats. Now, as a DPS, you want to always have 3 sets, obviously, but you want to always have 3 squares that are giving you the attack, and then 4 that are giving you just like the bigger, longer versions of attack, right? Now, Noelle wants to run 100% magic attack, as we can see here. Of course, she's getting a bit of physical attack from the substats. We could see like 91 there, 126 there, 69 there. But except for that, it's completely magic attack. Now, you would want to always 100% run this 2-piece. As for the rest, I think that if you choose to run the 2-piece of the upgraded, if you run the 2-piece of the upgraded speed set, it is very good. If not, I think that her best ones are also the crit ones. I think that either or of the upgraded crit ones are very good. If not, for the crit damage one, I think this is crit damage. I believe so. I think this is crit damage. For the crit damage one, using the non-upgraded one is fine because she's going to mainly want to crit or get crit damage on her ult, and this one's going to be giving her crit damage only on the ult, but that is fine considering how she works. So I'd say the best ones for her at the moment is the upgraded attack. You want to run 100% to give the extra magic attack. And then both crit damage sets, the upgraded crit set, upgraded speed set, also because her speed is higher than every other DPS in the game. So she will be profiting even further on increased speed, and she could maybe speed ahead of other people if she has the upgraded speed set. Do not run the downgraded speed set. And except for that, I'd say lifesteal is also very good, especially at the moment because we got some LR pieces from Guild Wars, and you can also buy some in the shop. So I'd say that for me, this is the best. Now, I put penetration on her because I got 2 LR magic attack ones, which is letting me get to an insane amount of 57,000 CC. So I definitely say that for me, this is the best. But soon I'd say that I will be swapping out the DP or the lifesteal for crit damage and crit rate. Just for a bit more information on the gear part, of course, just make sure main thing you want is magic attack, even on the substats. But except for that, I'd say that crit is just like undeniably the best ones to put. I'd say crit also, like crit damage and crit rate increase your CC a lot if you're looking for like a CC boost. So definitely, obviously, every single attacker really just wants attack and then the crit sets. But for her, it's mainly just magic attack and then the crit sets because her barrier scales solely off magic attack, and then she profits greatly off of magic attack buffs. Now, we're going to give different PvP option teams and also how you would want her PvE teams to be. Now, I'm going to give mainly her best teams, but of course you could do variations for the units given. Now, I'd say this one is probably your best one. You've seen me use it. For PvP at least, this is good. I would say Ghost over Sally is great for PvP because Ghost also has the damage reduction on ult, and he's generally a very quick unit, and he also gives all attack increase, and the all attack increase that Ghost gives could be stacked with Voltos because Voltos gives 70% magic attack, he gives 50% all attack, and you cannot stack 2 magic attack buffs, but you could stack 2 buffs that give magic attack if they're worded differently as buffs. And since his is all attack and his is just magic attack, that's 120%, and with her multiplicative buffs, it's going to be going to like skyrocketing the amount of magic attack you actually have. And then of course Lotus is just there to slow the enemies down and then also make them take more damage. Now you could also try another comp where you have Rhodes, and Rhodes and Noelle will both put their shields up, and you will be getting insane amounts of shielding. But the thing is, Rhodes, honestly, I don't even think is needed for the shield if you build your Noelle full magic attack and then buff her up, because Rhodes also needs to be built magic attack, and the problem with that is you have to build 2 full magic attack like kits. So I would say this one is a bit less worthy, but definitely good. Now this one I'd say is really, it could be fun. It's basically a double counterattack team where William will most likely be giving his counterattack to Noelle, then Noelle will be applying her blessing on Raya, which will then make it so 2 people will counterattack if the enemy AoEs. And you want to use you want to use an AoE for the second counterattack. So either red Yami works or green Raya. You could also put Lotus if you really want to. So I'd say those are like the 3 main options. No one else is really skill 1 AoE. So either Raya or Yami work for this comp. I would say I'm going to probably try this out in the future. So if you want a full showcase of this team in the future, I will be doing it. Now, as for PvE, this is probably the best red team you'd want to run. You have triple tank technically because Noelle on her own is like technically a tank with her shield. Then you're going to have red Yami for the AoE. You're just going to keep on spamming AoEs. Red Asta for taunting, and then Vettel is just going to be tanking and staying alive. Now, if you want to do some variations, honestly, you could put like Finral here. Should it still work? If not, let's put Vettel back. If not, for like the red, the SR Asta case, if you want to put seasonal Asta, it should work still because Noelle's gonna be able to keep people alive. So all of those things are definitely like plausible. Now Charlotte 2 works. You could use Teresia for healing too. She is a pretty good healer. So stuff like that, just little changes. Any Asta works, and then I think it's just mainly just doing as much damage as you can. But this team has given me 100% win rates in mono green teams or mono green fights. Now, if it is just like a non-mono stage, you could Nagato's use this team. It works pretty well. Noelle is going to keep pretty much everyone alive once you can. You're going to do insane damage. Lich has his immortality if you need. Raya is also going to be able to, I think it was healing when a buff runs out, if I remember correctly. If not, you just put lifesteal on these guys and this team should be fine. Of course, if not, if you want to like have a bit of safety, you could put like William or Ghosh instead of Ready Ami, I'd say, and then you should still be fine. So yeah, this team definitely works well for non-mono teams or non-mono stages like XP stage, which is non-mono. So if you don't have any skip tickets and you need to farm it, you could definitely use this team. Now then, even for this team, if you just want to put William instead of Ghosh, it works the same. If you want to put Sally too, it could work, but not as well. And as for Lotus, there's 3 people that work because they all provide the same sort of things as debuffers. First off is Green Yuno for his slot, and then Real, because they all apply Incapacitate. And if you put like Lotus's skill page on Yuno, he will work just as well, I'd say. Now Lotus is the best because he kind of gets more of a guaranteed speed lower, and Real could stun, but it doesn't work all the time, and it's a lot of chance. But I feel like Lotus is just a lot better. Now, as for Voltos, Voltos is better because he gives magic attack buffs, and he will be quicker to get your allies to attack. If you want to check out more information on that, check my Voltos showcase. It's all in the playlist for unit showcases. But if you don't have Voltos built up, you could put Finral. Of course, just won't be as good in my opinion. And yeah, that's like the main differences I would say for the units. Now, let me mention this more in depth, but Noelle has 106 speed, and that is the highest speed of any DPS unit in the game. Let's just go over here to kind of show you guys what I mean. All these new units have really high speed for some reason, but Noelle, basically like these two, obviously like it's very high, but Noelle herself is, where is she? She is here. Now, this might not seem big, but the only DPS who has more speed is Red Seasonal Asta. Everyone else, everyone else in this, let me put this back. Anyone else, or everyone else in this, every single DPS has 103 speed or lower. Everyone from Yuno, as we see here at 103, to Fauna is a DPS at 103 speed. Her having more means she could get her barrier out quicker than all these DPSs and guarantee that she attacks before them, except for Red Asta, obviously, and guarantee that she gets her barrier up and they are safe against all the DPS's attacks, which makes her extremely good in that regard. And it's just gonna, it increases her value like tenfold having that 3 extra speed, because speed is extremely important in this game, and just getting that extra speed is huge. Now then, before we actually get into the mini PvP showcase, as for defense, if you do run this team, I'd say that going for full defense is better because it's going to throw the opponents off. And how you're going to run it, Volto speed, then magic attack increase, then Lotus speed debuff. And let me take that off because you don't actually want that. You're just going to run the skill 1 after. And for Ghosh, you're going to put the skill 2 first, as it's going to buff Noelle. And then you're going to put damage reduction because this is going to work after the shield is up. It's going to be crazy if you have the damage reduction after shield is up. And for Noelle, you're going to put the shield first. And because of Ghosh's buff, this should be Giga buffed. And then you're going to ult. So this team should not really die unless like the enemy team actually has like insane units. But I would say that this team is going to be very cracked. For the first match, we're going to fight another Noelle. See how it works from the opposite side of view also. Now, Voltos is going to be a lot better than Fenrir in these runs because he's going to be able to give you the stamina boost. And remember, folks, as I always say, stamina before speed. Now, the counter, honestly, is fine. Now, what we're going to do here is just going to buff Noelle up big time. So with this, she should get like an insanely high shield. And then you're going to do this with her, or with him. He's going to slow them a bit. Now, that's honestly fine. Not really that bad. Because now she's going to shield. You're going to put this on Noelle so she stays alive. And that is a 92k shield, ladies and gentlemen, twice, which makes it 180k. So I wonder if they're going to go full shield too. I hope they do. Yep, there you go. That's how you're supposed to be doing it. So this is going to be a very toxic, very toxic match, as we're about to see. Now, I'm going to have more of a damage reduction. I think my shield was a bit higher. Now, that should be fine because we're going to get the counter for 294,000. I'm telling you, her counter is insane. Then another 179. So we're just going to play it safe as much as we can. And like this is basically GG. So she doesn't have her shield anymore because we got rid of it. So there's no fear of doing that. And of course, the buff was given to Sally, so that's also very nice. So this should be quite a high number. Let's see how much it is. But 349,000. Her damage is just ridiculous, right? So I'd say that's how it's gonna be. And fighting against bots is not that bad, especially when you have Noelle herself. So yeah, very good. I love her. And there we go, cleared. Now then, with this team, I'm going to try my best to get the full amount of shield that I can. I want to see how high the shield could go. Now, to be fair, this team should not be that difficult, honestly. If I do this, we should be fine. Because the Noelle's going to attack. But we just don't want the Ryan Lich also to attack. Oh, well, I guess we're all going first. So, let's put the... Yeah, we're going to have to do this. Actually, yeah. So, let's do this. We're gonna try to kill Raya at least. That's gonna be the goal. So with this, they're gonna be slowed too, which is what we want. Perfect. Now Noelle, she might go crazy. We'll have to see. Just kill Raya. 515k. Okay. Well, I guess we can't even show her shield, but I think that works too. You think 515k is good? Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Because she didn't even have the Voltos buff, so that means we could have probably hit 700k if we're thinking about it logically. I hope this video helped you guys, and yeah, I just really love Noelle. And if you guys have any other questions, just ask me below. I think I went over pretty much everything. Didn't really miss anything, I'd say. As for teams, I feel like those are her main best teams, and I tried to give as many flexible options as I could. But of course, I'm still trying to give you like her best playstyle, of course, and I'd say that this is it. And if you guys want more content for her, just check my other videos, and I have already more videos coming. So, like, no worries on that. I'm going to try a, like, 1v4 or 2v4 with her. I'm really excited to see how that goes. But, yeah, that's it for the video.